So I thought I'd share what I'm doing in terms of installing the EcoFlow alternator charger. I guess it might be helpful for if other people are trying to do the same thing. So what we've got the alternator charger, we've got the cable, and then we've got a electrician's rod. So I've taken this cover off here, so we can easily thread that through. Just in terms of routing that, we've got it going through the first cupboard there. That's quite simple. The second cupboard, you can probably tell from this lot here that I've taken the cover from the inside of the technical cupboard out, just to see where to thread the rod. So again, threading that through from there into the bathroom. This is a 600, by the way, not a 680, as you can probably tell. The absolute carnage of ripping everything out of the van. So then we come through into the bathroom, and this was the hardest bit to do. So this goes, hopefully we can see where this is going. This goes down below the sog, and then down here at the front. So what we had to do to get this in was we managed to get it this far, but then trying to feed it this way, it just got stuck. So what I tried to do was use the other half, or some other rods from the electrician's rods, and push them through from this side. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see where that goes very easily, but yeah, it's really difficult to see in here. Let's see if I can at least move it a little bit so that you can see. It basically, there's a hole in that corner there, which you can thread through from. So we tried a variety of different ways of doing this. We started off by going in kind of here with the rod and going along, which kind of makes a lot of sense, but the rod just gets stuck in that corner over there. So what we ended up having to do was to be on the left side of this hole. So not on the right side near the wall, but the left side. Stay on the left side of the hole, and then one person was feeding it through from here, and another person was in the bathroom, and I had my hand basically down there feeling around until eventually I could feel the rod. Then we pulled the rod through and screwed it together with the rest of the rod. So now we've got the rod all the way through and out here, and the plan is to use this to pull the cable through from the cupboard in the back and run along here. And I'm probably not going to try at the moment to get behind this panel, but then we'll go behind this piece here, which we've loosened off. So we've taken the trim off across here. Sorry, there's stuff everywhere. We've taken the trim off across there, so the idea is we basically try as much as possible to follow this, and go in here, and then I'll just go round the front so that you can see where it's going to connect to. So here is the carnage of the front. So I've got the table on the seat, but basically taking this piece off. So down here you take this panel off. It's got the two little screws that come off. Take that one off. Then you can take this panel off from here. There's just some screws that go along this edge. They come out, and then the panel comes out. And then underneath this panel is your starter battery. So the idea is we'll come under this chair, under here, and into the starter battery, hopefully into the consumer panel for that, which might be here. Anyway, So yeah, that's the plan. I'll let you know how it goes. Fingers crossed. Well, it's worth also just showing you the cable. So the plan here is that this cable, we're going to mount the alternator charger in here. The EcoFlow goes in this cupboard. So the alternator charger will go on the wall here. Then this cable will plug into the bottom of it and run from here. So there's plenty of cable, but it's quite thick. If you look at how thick that is, I've got quite fat thumbs. I've got quite fat thumbs. It's really quite thick cable. But that's going to run, hopefully, all the way around the back. And then this is the cable. There's the negative, which will mount onto the body, and then the positive, which has got a separate fuse cable as well, which I'll show you in a little while. But they'll mount to the starter battery. So quite a chunky bit of cable, but plenty of it. Yeah, and this is the fuse cable. So there's a fuse in here, 125 amp. Don't know if you can see that, 125 amp fuse in there. This cover, can't do this with one hand. This cover comes off, so that's gonna connect there, and then it's to the same length. So yeah, so that's the fuse. Right, so this is how I'm planning on doing it. So I've got the cable, I've gaffer taped the shorter positive there, just so that it slides through easier. I've got a hook, and I'm going to hook this around. There you go. I'm going to use that hook through the loop. I'm going to put some gaffer tape around that so that it doesn't go anywhere. Then we'll see how we get on. Right, there we are. So that's gaffer taped. So that rod goes all the way through to the front. It's on this cable, and this cable is all the way down here. Wish me luck. So something that is absolutely worth bearing in mind, and a mistake that I just made, is don't connect these together outside of where you want them to be. So if your EcoFlow is going here, then do what I'm doing. However, if your EcoFlow, like mine is going to, is going in your cupboard, if you connect the cable outside here, you have a problem when you get to this end, because that is not that massive, whatever that is not going under there. It's too big. So what we need to do instead is connect this end to the rod in the cupboard, so that it doesn't have to go through that gap at the bottom. I'll connect it up and show you what I mean. So this is what I was trying to say before. So have the cable come in through the cupboard door, and then connect it to your rod inside the cupboard, so that that massive piece down there doesn't have to go through that tiny little gap in the corner. Let's try again. I realised halfway through doing it, I didn't pull it all the way through to realise. Otherwise I'd have been pissed. Right, so we have the cable through. So it was pretty tight underneath the back of the toilet, coming through the wall. A little bit of damage to the cable. Don't know if you can see that. Nothing too bad, but you can see that it got caught. So now it's really tight now. So pulling it through, you're gonna have to be really careful pulling that through. But you can see we're through there. It took two of us as well. One to kind of guide it through in the bathroom, and one to pull. So yeah, we've just got to get around this bit now. But just so you can see in terms of how much cable there is, there's still still a good amount of cable there, so we'll have plenty. Okay, so got the cable. So that's the end that connects to the EcoFlow, routed through there, routed through this cupboard, into the bathroom, into the bathroom there. You can just about see the cable there going down. Then comes into here in the corner, along, under there. Don't know if it's in focus. It's going to run along there, and then hopefully we can get it behind that panel, and then here running along the edge. And I'm going to go, I tried to go under there, following that cable, under this bit of rubber trim here, but actually you end up into the heart of all of this lot, so I didn't really want to chance following that. So I'm going to go round the outside of the chair. Our dog bed goes there anyway. I'll try and do something neat with that, and then we're over to the battery there. Oh, it's hard work. Okay, so it's the next day. I've just watched some of the video back that I shot yesterday when I was installing the alternator charger, and I want to apologise for my snivelling. I've got a terrible cold, so I spent the entire video going like this, which is quite annoying. So it took me the best part of the whole of Sunday to fit the alternator charger. It was harder than I thought. It wasn't so difficult getting the electrician's rods through. That was a bit of a pain. It was difficult pulling the bulk of that cable through the tiny gap behind the toilet and then routing the cable the right way. I said in the video, I said that I was going to come kind of round the back of the passenger seat and through the middle where the handbrake is. I changed my mind because that looked crap, and so I'll show you where I threaded the cable through, but I basically went the other side of the seat. I went where in between the passenger seat and the passenger door, and then under the seat from there. So it's much neater. There's much less cable to see. But after that, after getting the cable through, it was pretty straightforward. It's super simple to connect up the charger to the battery, the starter battery. It's then super simple to plug into the EcoFlow. Yeah, so all of that is working now. I think the most frustrating thing that I've found so far with it is when you can configure the voltage that's being output, the level at which the charger kicks in. But you can only configure it in whole volts. So you can only configure it to say when the voltage, for example, is above 13 volts, then kick in and start charging the battery, or 14 volts or 12 volts or whatever you choose there. You can't say 13.6 volts or 13.3 volts. So that kind of fine adjustment, I think, is necessary in order to get it configured properly, so that it's working exactly how your vehicle is working. But we'll see how we get on with it. It is charging the battery. We'll play with it over the next few days and see kind of how we get on. But that's it for installing it. Give yourself a day. Definitely have someone else on hand just to help with the getting the rods through, getting the cable through. I don't think I would have been able to do that on my own without breaking something. But if you're handy and you're happy taking bits off your van, knowing for well that you can put them back on, I would absolutely recommend doing it. Oh, I'll also show you now where I routed that cable. It's not particularly easy to show you. I'm working from the van today. We're at the seaside at Felixstowe, and that's what the weather's doing outside. Not that you can see. But anyway, under here, so you remember yesterday I had this trim off here. What I'd said was I would run that cable along here and up along the dog's bottom there. That's not what I did. Instead, what I did, I don't know if you can see it, instead I run the cable from here straight into the base of the chair. Let's see if we can see from here. There we are, you can see. So just straight across, so you've got a little bit of cable exposed there, but you don't really see it when you open the door. It's hidden from everybody. And that's it.